What's up guys, and welcome to my first ever summit guide in the Crew Motorfest in English commentary. I was thinking about doing this for quite a while now, but never did it because I was just a little bit nervous about my English speaking and the commentary thing but now it's the UK week in the Crew Motorfest, so let's do it. We're gonna be looking at the rewards first, as I do in the German commentary too, with 50,000 XP for bronze. For silver you get 50k bucks, for gold you get the coffee and cream tires, and for platinum, I hope we will get you there, the Jaguar E-Type Roadster in the Temptation edition. So let's get it. And in addition to that, for 3 races in the summit you get 50k XP bonus. For 6 races you get the new exhaust sound. I don't know if that is changing anything. And for 9 events you get 100k bonus points for the summit itself and 2 golden parts for street tier 1 in max level. You don't really need that, but you need the 100k extra points, so just do it. I hope you have a little bit to learn in this video and maybe a little bit fun, and I wish you best of luck for the Summit Platinum. Okay, let's start at the top, and I hope I can go on for 15 minutes in a straight commentary. We start with the Evora GTE with pro settings on the left, and you see on the top right it's the Nitro Chemist set on pure and extra pump. We will drive in this race with, I think, already 2 strategies we will use in most summits of 3. First of all, we have the shortcuts. Of course, shortcuts is one of the biggest things in every arcade racer, and we start at about 20 seconds with a 50 seconds with a cut to the left through the buildings and respawn there. For that respawn you need to go into your settings and change first of all the rewind to off in your difficulty settings, and you go to your I don't know what settings to change from hold a button to press it only. Maybe some of you can look it up what setting exactly it is and find it out. So second thing you just saw, it was the power drift, where you can slide up your car straight into the corner, and you use that by pressing handbrake and nitro while steering into the direction you want to steer to. So just nitro and handbrake at the same time with steering in, and you will get your car directly into the corner, directly into the drift, power drift, and around the corner. So next thing is the McLaren F1 race. We start up very simple, but we use here the slipstream. So drive it with a friend, at least maybe 2 friends, but 1 will be enough. For that we will need, or I used the manual shifting because we can use that as a brake system. We use the motor brake. In German it's just Motorbremse, I don't know, and can nearly drive the whole race in top speed, top acceleration. So I used the 5th gear in the first corner, the 4th gear in the second corner. For the serpentine curves we use the 3rd gear, but not in full speed, just half speed will be enough for that, to make it a clear curve and not slip too much out of it. So after that you go back to the 4th at around 40 seconds, then you can go to the 5th and make the straight a little bit faster, be in the 5th in the next corner at around 50 seconds, you see that, and then shift back to 4th and to the 3rd gear when you get into the slightly thinner corner. I don't know the words. Maybe that will be better in the future if I do more of that. You have to ask for it. Okay, after the last corner you have to be in slipstream. So you just press nitro to the max, go into 6th gear and be at around 475 kilometers per hour at the straight. That for 3 rounds, not so easy, but you can do it, I think. Or is it? This race is just 2 rounds, is it? And then we can go to the next one. The next one is pretty hard, so we have a lot to discuss here. I don't know how good I will be able to make this. Okay, the Jaguar E-Type is a pretty old car, so it has a pretty slow shifting, so we have to be a little bit better in that, and the automatic shifting is just shit. So we use manual gear, and yeah, we use the 3rd technique in this race. It's the guttering. Guttering, I don't know if all of you have heard it before, is when you get two of your wheels inside off-road of the corner, the curve, so that the two off-road tires slide you through the corner and you can go through it more stable and with more speed. That's not that easy, but it works pretty fine with the Jaguar, so maybe you get it around 10%. You can see how I tried to use it. I didn't get it that great, but in the 11% corner, the right corner, I did it pretty good, so that's what guttering should look like, just with a little more speed, I guess. But more important, at 15%, we start going into corners with more speed, and then we can use the respawn again, just as we did in the first race, but only for corners with much speed, because at 18% in the left corner we are too slow. That's not a great corner for doing a respawn, so there we use the gutter again. You can use the gutter in every corner here. You don't have to do the respawn if you don't like to, but it works pretty fine, and it makes the whole thing a little bit easier, because guttering is very, very hard to learn for beginners, and if you want to drive it all clear without guttering, without respawns, you're gonna be pretty slow, I guess. So then, after the pretty thin corners, really missed the right word here, you get to that jump. The jump you do in 4th gear with full nitro power, and then after that you are pretty fast, so you use a power drift for the next corner. Works pretty well for me. Power drift isn't that easy if you never have done it, so maybe you have to learn it. Okay, next corner, 34% is again a respawn corner. Then we do guttering again at 35%. You can pretty good see how it should not really look like, because I totally missed the gutter and were much too fast for that corner. So I had to brake a lot and were pretty slow at the next part. Okay, at 40% it's gonna be a little bit more complicated. We did two additional shortcuts. We had the first one, like in Grand Races, we cut right out of and have to find a way through the trees, and if you think that it's gonna be hard at 46%, you're not really gonna like what you see on the map right now. You see the big U-turn, and after the next checkpoint at around 50%, you have to find a way through. Just look how I did it and where I did it, and try to find the same spot, because that way it works pretty well. It's not that easy to find a spot through the trees there, but it is really good for the time. If you don't like this and don't want to use it, try a power drift, so nitro and handbrake plus steering in at the U-turn will work out pretty fine, but not as good as the respawn itself. So after that, it's not pretty much more to do in the race. We have much top speed, so if you have slipstream there, it would be quite useful, and we have 2 or 3 more power drifts, I guess. You will see them coming. It's just the 90 degrees curves. It's pretty much, if you are high speed, it's the power drift. So that is the first Jaguar event, and I'm pretty much beginning to think, okay, maybe I can do that in the future, but I need more words. I'm missing a few. Okay, the Bentley event. Yeah, that's exactly the point where you can learn to power drift, because the Bentley is perfectly made for it. But as you will see on the map down below, you don't need it, because I was doing the power drift the whole race while Toasty was driving it clear. Same settings, same set on the car, the Nitro Chemist set on Extra Pump and Pure, and I think for me personally, the power drift makes it more easy, more stable for myself, because I'm pretty used to using the power drifts. I have known them in the Crew 2 and I'm going pretty good with it. But Toasty did it without any power drifts, was going through nearly with the same speed every corner. I think in the sweater mode there will be a few corners for power drifts, a few without, for the perfect run. So maybe in 1 or 2 corners my power drift is better than Toasty's normal driving, but in 1 or 2 corners maybe it's just the exactly different thing, and that's, you can do both. Do what you like and try to make a clear race. What's in Toasty's way is just how you drive corners, and that's pretty much hard to explain in English when you're not a native speaker. But in corners you want to go from the outer part in the entrance to the, I always miss that word, to be at the innerest point You want to go far to the pin of that corner, I don't know, find that word in the commentaries please, and then at the outgoing of the curve you let your car slide out by your speed. So if you hit that pretty good, if that was understandable at all, you will be able to take corners at much higher speed, and if you come from the inner side of a corner, you have to brake the full way down. You're losing way too much speed with that. So try to come from the outer curve, drive into the missing word thing, and hit the outer part of the next straight after the curve. Okay, the next Jaguar part race is pretty much nothing special. Don't hit that power drift like I did at 13%. You can't do that just by driving straight. Driving normal will be better at that point. At 19% you can do a little bit of a shortcut, just like cutting the corner a little bit. After that, at 40% you can make a power drift again. As you can see on the map, Toasty did it without, I did it with it. I liked it better with the power drift, but you don't really have to. It's much more of a clean driving at this race. Little bit of danger is after 50%, the very sharp corner that's coming here. You could do that in power drift, but as you can see, I didn't, so it worked out. After 50% you get to a little bit of guttering. As you can see, maybe here at 60% I tried to gutter. I'm not really good at it, but it worked, and the times are good, so hit it. And the really important part of that race is just at 70%. A big serpentine curve. You can just straightly drive in, get the checkpoint, respawn again, like in the first race. You use the with the Evora GTE. You have to change those two settings for a straight up respawn. It's pretty easy, but I think it will be very problematic for old gen, because old gen is way too slow in the respawns. So maybe then you will have to just drive it safe. But as you can see, 90%, the right corner, the guttering worked pretty fine. 91, the left corner, it didn't. Yeah, guttering is the key for, let's say, most of the races, but I'm still learning it. It's not that easy, but you can. It's pretty much always better than driving normal. Not always, don't count me in on that, aber German word, but it works pretty well, even if you're not that good at it. Okay, last race, big problem for me. The McLaren P1 is an absolute shitbox. As you can see, Toasty was driving the McLaren F1 like in the previous race. I didn't like it for that race, but it worked out, so maybe you can do that too. You can do a lot of cars on that race, but I used the McLaren P1. Try the Gold Line Edition. Many people say the Gold Line Edition works pretty good. I didn't use the Gold Line because I tend to not use exclusive cars on Summit guides, because I don't like the way that people are complaining, but I can't use that car. It's in this case the Crew 2 exclusive. Yeah, but you see that race is pretty much just a little city track. It's not made for hypercars, so you have to brake a lot, and especially in the last two corners, these right corners here. In the first round, you can use the walls next to the houses as a brake point. They will break you down, so you get the corner more easily. But in the second round, these walls are gone. So use your brakes wisely in this case. Okay, now we are coming to one of the hardest points for me to explain, because you don't have to do what I do in the next part. The next parts are these slalom tests. Is it slalom in English? I don't know. Okay, we use a plane for the first two with the score breaker set on skilled with the extreme perk, and then you use the extreme mode on PlayStation. It's with square, to get the plane through this curse. It's not easy, but it's the best way you can do it. If you don't want to do it, and I really could understand that, just use Alpha Grand Prix, Racing or Hypercar, anything you have score breaker set with skilled on it. The other affixes just doesn't really matter. You need score breaker with skilled. Do it in the other way around, just like with the plane, and drive it straight through the checkpoints. It's pretty easy to make a slalom. I'll call it slalom in good points. Okay, next Slalom, it is Slalom. Oh, okay, I got my game in English and it is still Slalom. The next is pretty much the same thing. You can do it with plane, you can do it with any car. Just in plane you don't have the traffic, but in plane you have the trees. That's pretty awful. I would do it just in the car for you. Okay, it's about, I don't know, 2,000, maybe 3,000 points in total for both slaloms with plane. You don't really need that. If you just want to go platinum, just do it with any car. The important thing, score breaker set with skilled. I have pure as the second affix, but you don't really need that. That's just because you don't need anything else. Okay, so skilled set, as you can see for the Alpha Grand Prix in the third race, with pure and skilled. Scorebreaker set with pure and skilled. And then in the last slalom, you can just take a little bit of unloaf. Drive a little bit to the back and go through it. Just have a bit of luck with the traffic, and I know this was very bad luck. Well, bad luck, good luck, hard luck, what I had here, and sometimes it's just better to drive through and hope for the best. Okay, so don't give up only if you see, oh, no traffic, okay, respawn. Just try it and then respawn if you fail, okay? Works better most of the time. Okay, and that's it. That's the first ever English Summit Guide. I don't know, I think I did it quite okay, not very good. I noticed I need some words that don't use that properly in stream or something, because mostly I stream in German. But also you are welcome very much to visit the Twitch stream, link in the biography. Leave a comment with any, I don't know, tips, advices, wishes for the future. Maybe just to say, hey, I liked it, do it again. Because I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking about doing Summit Guides in 2 languages. So just leave a note, and of course, press the subscription button, please, and like this video. See you soon, and good luck with the Summit.